Male. Administratively, the city consists of a central island, an airport island, and 4 other islands governed by the Male City Council. Traditionally it was the King's Island, from where the ancient royal dynasties ruled and where the palace was located. The city was then called Mahal. Formerly it was a walled city surrounded by fortifications and gates and bastions when the city was remodeled under President Ibrahim Nasir's rule in the aftermath of the abolition of the monarchy. In 1968, however, the Male Friday Mosque remains. In recent years, the island has been considerably expanded through land-filling operations. Over the years, Male has been the center of political protests and milestone events. Although Male is geographically located in Kafu Atoll, administratively it is not considered part of it. The central part of the city is formed by the island of Male. 5 more islands form part of the city, which includes Hulule, Hulu Male, Villamal, Gulhaifalhu and Tilafushi. A commercial harbor is located on the central island and serves as the heart of all commercial activities in the country. Velana International Airport is located in the island of Hulule. The central island is heavily urbanized, with the built-up area taking up essentially its entire landmass. Slightly less than 1/3 of the nation's population lives in the capital city, and the population has increased from 20,000 people in 1987 to 100,000 people in 2006. Many Maldivians and foreign workers living in other parts of the country find themselves in occasional short-term residence on the island since it is the center of administration and bureaucracy. The whole island group, the Maldives, is named after its capital. The word Maldives means the islands of Male. The first settlers in the Maldivian islands were Dravidian people who arrived from the neighboring shores of the modern Indian subcontinent and coastal Ceylon. Comparative studies of Maldivian linguistic, oral, and other cultural traditions, in addition to folklore, point to a strong Dravidian influence on Maldivian society, centered in Male, from ancient times. The Giravaru people of Giravaru claim descent from the first Tamil settlers of the Maldives. It is said that early Tamil settlers called the islands Malaitivu, which means garland islands or chain islands. According to regional law, Giravaru fishermen used to go regularly to a certain large sandbank at the southern end of their atoll to clean tuna fish after a good catch. Owing to the large amount of tuna fish offal and blood, the waters around that sandbank looked like a big pool of blood. Traditionally, the first inhabitants of the Maldives, which include the Giravaru people, didn't have kings. They lived in a simple society and were ruled by local headmen. However, one day, a prince from the subcontinent called Koimala arrived in the Male Atoll sailing from the north on a big ship. The people of Giravaru spotted his vessel from afar and welcomed him. They allowed Prince Koimala to settle on that large sandbank in the midst of the waters tainted with fish blood. Trees were planted on the sandbank, and it is said that the first tree that grew on it was the papaya tree. As time went by, the local islanders accepted the rule of this northern prince. A palace was built and the island was formally named Mala, while the nearest island was named Hulula. The names of the main 4 wards or divisions of Male Island are said to have been given by the original Giravaru fishermen: Mafannu from Ma, Galolhu from Galuolhu and Machangolhi from Mathiangolhi. In early foreign sources, Male was called Umbrier or Mal. For the Maldivians, it was Fura Male, i.e., Male the preeminent. When Ibn Battuta travelled to Male in 1343, he provided a rather extensive description of the city as well as the islands of the Maldives. Overall, he mentioned that the Queen, Rahandi Khadija, had a residence in Male, which from its description may be assimilated to the same palace of the later Sultan rulers. In the center of the island, within the palace compounds, several pits contained stores of cowrie shells, ready to be traded. Ibn Battuta also mentioned several mosques, built in wood. Male was fortified in the 17th century by the Sultan Muhammad Imaduddin, who built walls on the north, east and west side of the island. An inner harbour was used by fishing vessels and small dhonis, while larger vessels had to anchor in the outer harbour, between the islands of Willingili and Hulule. The island covered less than 1 square mile in size and was surrounded by a shallow lagoon. Male had 2,148 inhabitants in 1888. But population growth soon led to the search for new spaces for housing. The old forts and decrepit walls were dismantled in 1925 to 1927 under the reign of Muhammad Shamsuddin III, to be rebuilt on a smaller scale. Roads were also widened and straightened. Former large cemeteries had also been cleared out to achieve more